see you better, but this will do. Alright, so where do we start? The topic of my talk is Dare to Know Yourself. Now, why is that important? Now, why is it important to know yourself? And what does it even mean to know yourself? So let's start somewhere where we can all agree. What do we all care about? What does every one of you care about? The only thing that we really care about.
Yourself?
Yeah, we can do it like that too. I can actually answer if you want. I wasn't expecting that. But in my opinion, when I say it, I'm sure you're going to agree, what we care about is how we feel. We don't care about what happens. We don't care about the things that we are striving for. We care about how they make us feel. That's why we want them. That's why we're trying to change things. Because we want to feel in a certain way. We want to have a quality experience. We want to have a high degree of joy and well-being and peace. That's what we care about. So if we believe that we can get those things through, I don't know, finishing a school, then we're going to be trying to finish a school. If we believe that it will help us somehow to feel how we want to feel, then that's what we're going to do. But since what we really care about is how we feel, then I think it is really important to explore and look at what is it that is actually causing us to feel in a certain way. What is it that's creating our feelings? Because whatever we believe that is the cause of our feelings, that's what we're going to care about. That's what we're going to strive for. So that's what I'm going to try to explore today with you. Now, to start that, I want to use an example. And the example is, imagine yourself, or imagine somebody else if you want, doesn't matter. And they're just in their normal state of being, the kind of the average. Maybe a little bored, maybe a little anxious, maybe just feeling kind of okay. Maybe they're sitting at home on their couch, eating their chips or whatever. And then imagine that their friend starts running into the room, holding a little ticket, a lottery ticket, and he says, "Bro, we won! Remember the ticket, the lottery that we went to put last week? We won, it's $100 million. We got it. Now, what happens to this person's state? How will they feel? They were eating their chips, they were maybe a little bored, and instantly when they hear this information, they're going to jump up with excitement, with joy, with incredible ecstasy maybe even, because that's something that they see as something really important. Because they heard that they won the lottery. So now imagine that the next day they go to pick up the money, and they give the ticket to the person who is supposed to give them the money or whatever. And they say, sorry guys, we got all the numbers right except for the last one. I see how it's easy to make a mistake. You know, it's a 6, it was a 4, you didn't win any money. So ignore what is going to happen to this person's state now, but let's go back to what happened to them while they were eating their chips, Doritos or whatever. And then they got into this excited, ecstatic state. But for what? What caused that feeling? Because nothing changed in their physical reality. Literally nothing happened. They didn't win any money. Nothing changed. But their feeling went from normal, or kind of, not that amazing, to the best feeling that they could possibly want. Isn't that curious? So what happened? Because if this person understands what is the actual cause behind how they feel, they will not need to win the money. They are going to be able to feel that just by understanding who they are. Well, let's use another example. I don't know if anybody here has fallen in love before. I haven't really, so... But I've heard stories, and I hear that it feels really good. And I've seen people be in love, and I can see that they are really in a different state. So, something that would bother them before, now they're in love, it doesn't bother them. And they don't even have to be with the person to feel really amazing. And why are they feeling so good? What's happening? Well, they're thinking about the person, they're imagining the next time they're going to meet, they're super excited. The person doesn't even have to be there. What does it mean for them that they are in love with this person or that this person cares about them? It means something for them that's making them feel really good. It means maybe that they're loved or that somebody appreciates them, and so they feel good. But what is it? I mean, last week they were sitting in the same chair, maybe eating the same Doritos, and feeling kind of not that great. But today, 1 week later, they're sitting in the same chair and they're feeling amazing. Now why? What's happening inside of them that's making them feel so good? Well, they're thinking about the person that they're in love with. They're imagining different things than they were imagining a week ago that were making them not feel so great. So, are you following? The feelings that we feel, the quality of our experience, is determined by something that's happening inside of us. It's not something that's happening outside of us, even though that's what we're believing. So what is it that's actually determining the quality of our experience? What is it that's determining how we feel? I wonder. Could it be that there's nothing in the outside world that can ever be a cause of how we feel, but that it is always us? It is always what we are doing inside of us with our own mind that is determining how we're feeling. Could it be the case? And if it was the case, what would it mean for our life? I wonder. Do you have to wait for something to happen in order for you to feel good, in order for you to feel the way that you want to feel? And if something happens that you believe is making you feel bad, could it be that if you just saw it in a different way, if you were focusing on different things, if you were imagining different things about that thing, or just ignoring it because you didn't see it as anything important for you, that you would actually feel in a way that you want? I wonder. What is it that we can actually do here? Because this is what I mean by understanding ourselves. Is to understand what is actually behind our feelings, what is causing our feelings. So the next time you're feeling a certain way, just ask yourself, what are you thinking right now that's making you feel a certain way? Actually, you're all feeling a certain way right now. Now, what is creating the feeling that you're having right now? Is it me talking? Maybe, but if you were not focusing on me and if you were focusing on something else, then I cannot make you feel in any way. You can ignore me completely. You can ignore what you're hearing completely. You can focus on whatever you want. Now, does the focus does what you focus on change how you feel? Of course it does. So would it make sense to take conscious, intentional control over what we're doing with ourselves, with our minds, with our attention, with our thoughts, with our imagination, so that we feel good without needing anything outside of us? And if we do this consistently and frequently for a certain period of time, will it change the quality of our life? Of course it will. And you might now be thinking that it sounds right and it sounds good, but if I get stuck in traffic Well, I'm just going to feel bad because that's just a really bad situation. Or if my house burns down, well, there's no way for me to feel good in such a situation. Well, okay, you might not. I'm not saying you have to feel good in every situation, but you can certainly feel better more of the time. You might be thinking, it is actually the outside world that is causing me to feel in a certain way. It is actually the situation that is causing me to feel in a certain way. It is actually so, isn't it? That's what we're all thinking, that's what we're all believing, that's how everybody else is acting. And sometimes I just feel bad. I don't feel that I'm creating that feeling. Well, what is it that's creating that feeling? It is still you. It is still your mind. It is still your attention. It is still your imagination, but it's unconscious. It is the way that your attention and your mind is acting based on some conditioned programming that you've picked up along the way on your life. So you interpret things in a certain way that you've been taught to interpret them, and you think that that's the only way that they can be interpreted. And so then you think that the situation is actually making you feel bad. Well, actually, it's not. If you consciously realize that you're actually thinking something right now, and you can change what you're thinking in a way that makes you feel better. And then the same situation suddenly feels different. Let me use another example. I'm sure there are many of these examples. There's something that happens to two different people. The same thing. Say they lose their stock. They lose all their money. You know, with one person, they get super depressed and they kill themselves. It's happened for sure. And another person lost the same stock, they lost the same money, but somehow they didn't seem to bother them that much. They remained happy, they remained quite jolly. So what was the difference? Because the situation was the same. And if the situation was the cause of our feelings, then it would create the same feeling in the same or different people every single time. But if it's creating a different feeling for different people, or even the same person at a different time, that means that there's something else that's creating our feelings. So the person that lost the stock and kept on feeling pretty good probably had a different idea about what that means for them. They interpreted it in a different way. They gave it a different meaning. And they felt good. Now, I would like to know how much time I have left because I don't see the time. 3 minutes? 4 minutes? Terrible. I feel really bad. I don't have the time in front of me. It's just terrible. I cannot feel good right now because the time is not here. Yeah. Well, it is something that we practice. It is something that we get better at with time because, as I said, there is a certain conditioning that we're all running on, that's determining how we feel. But if we want to start taking conscious control of our experience, then we have to realize that there isn't anything outside of us that's causing our experience. It's always us. The only two ways that it can be is that it's either unconscious or it's conscious. If it's unconscious, you're just going to do the things that you were taught to believe, interpret things in a way you were taught to interpret them, give the kind of meaning to things that you were taught to give the kind of meaning to, think about things that in a way that other people are thinking about them, which are mostly not that conducive to their amazing state of well-being. Or you can consciously do this. Whatever you're doing, you can be cooking your food or whatever, and you can realize, oh my God, I'm cooking my food, and I'm thinking about something. And those thoughts and that direction of my attention is creating a certain feeling within me. So how do I want to feel? And I don't even have to stop cooking the vegetables. And I can start changing how I feel because I start thinking about different things. So that's what I would like to invite you all to try out. Try it for a certain period of time. And as soon as you see that, wow, my feeling just changed because I changed my thought. I changed the direction of my attention, and my feelings changed. You will feel super great. And then you will keep on playing with that and keep getting better at it. I mean, I could keep going. I could keep talking about this forever. Okay, I'll end with the famous words of Jeb Bush that he used in his 2016 presidential campaign. Please clap.